Match number 70, Sunrisers Hyderabad versus the Punjab Kings concluding now. And what a game. What a win by Punjab Kings. A sweet revenge over the Sunrisers Hyderabad, over their not so sweet IPL journey this year. And this concludes the 14-match league stage. This is the post-match show. And to my delight, I invite tonight Nishant Arora and Abhijit Deshmukh. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. We'll begin straight away with a bit of discussion on Punjab Kings' thumping win over Sunrisers Hyderabad. Nishant, sir.
I think it was a game where I think SRH looked very flat. Technical deficiencies, compositions are one thing, but intent lacked, especially in their fielding. There's a lot of these coaches say that you bat for yourself, you bowl for yourself, but you field for the team. Look at how many catches they have dropped today. So many. It was a very sloppy effort by Sunrisers Hyderabad, and I think sometimes what happens is that in a match like this, you check out mentally. You check out. So it looked like that SRH had already checked out of the tournament, and that was quite visible in their body language, in their approach, even the way they batted. Like, one of them should have carried on the innings, and I think they were 30 runs minimum short on this wicket. And from there, it was downhill for them all the way.
And on the other side, Punjab took some good catches.
Yeah.
It was also last match for them, but I think they showed more character than the SRH today.
Yeah, absolutely. The result shows that.
Very true. Yes, very true. And we'll begin now with SRH's batting. Abhijit, sir, SRH won the toss and chose to bat first. If we compare the batting performance of both the teams, Sunrisers Hyderabad, they had got off to a mediocre start, unfortunate with Priyam Garg getting dismissed so early, but Abhishek Sharma, once again a rising talent for Indian cricket, was looking superb with the bat. The highest scorer for Sunrisers Hyderabad, 32 ball 43. Unfortunate he couldn't finish things off. Rahul Tripathi, on the other hand, a paltry 18 ball 20. But apart from that, the Sunrisers batting unit didn't quite seem to, come as a unit and deliver for the team when it, if not mattered the most, but at least on a formality basis, they should have, posted a good total to defend. And would you say that it was a tough pitch to bat on, or would you say that Sunrisers Hyderabad did not live up to the expectation as compared to Punjab Kings' batting?
I think if you see the yesterday's match as well, which was played on the same pitch, the score was 115. I think I would say, yeah, SRH was a bit short by 10 runs, but I think the way Punjab played, even SRH would have scored 200 today. I think Punjab would have chased that. But having said that, we have to give credit to the bowlers of Punjab. I think they bowled very well. I mean, I think look at Harpreet Barar, 4 over 26 and 3 wickets. Even if you like Livingstone and Arshdeep, they have not taken wickets, but I think they were quite good. I mean, 25 runs in 4 overs. I think that's such a very decent, good performance, I would say. I think credit to the Punjab Kings bowlers, I would say. Yes, it's the last match. Kind of a dead rubber, you can say. But I think what I personally feel is SRH was a good team than Punjab throughout the tournament. But maybe today they took it lightly, and I think that there wasn't that intent what we saw from Hyderabad in the initial matches. So I think, but it was a good good all round performance by Punjab today. Maybe if they would have played well, they could have earlier in the stages they could have qualified playoff. I remember one match against Gujarat Titans where Gujarat Titans required 12 runs of 2 balls, and they against Punjab, and I think Gujarat Titans nailed that match. So I think if you can lose such match where you required 12 runs of 2 balls, I think those matches, I think now it would have, clicked them. Oh, maybe if we would have won the match, they would have won, and now it could have been 16 games points for them. So no,
True.
every match, how the close matches, I think that's where it hurts the most. So I think Punjab, for them, they must have remembered. Okay, had we won that match, maybe we could have been in the playoffs.
Yes, very true. And well, not to term that this match is not at all important. Every game is important, no matter how it influences everyone. Nishant sir, highlighting a bit more on SRH's batting, mediocre batting, we would say. Let's talk about a bit of the merry part that until the 16th overs, SRH looked literally below par, just 99 runs with at the loss of 5 wickets. But that you know partnership between Washington Sundar and Romario Shepherd ensured that SRH at least managed to creep up to a 157, a moderately defendable total for their bowlers. If you could just reflect on that partnership between Shepherd and Sundar.
I think that was the need of the hour. Otherwise, this would have been a, uh, you know, the scorecard would have looked more bad. Like 157 runs were scored in 15 overs. So just imagine if that partnership had not happened, this match would have been over in 10th over. And but I think the problem with the batting was that Abhishek Sharma needed support from the other end, and a bit of a promise was shown by Rahul Tripathi, who must be a little disappointed because there was so much hype around him being, everyone is talking about that how he should be
Yes,
part of the Indian team
yes,
now. So there
true,
must be a personal disappointment which he must have kept
true.
aside and played this game. And they both, Rahul Tripathi and Aiden Markham, they both got a start. Like when you get those 20 runs, that means you have got that start. Now it is up to you to capitalize on that, and that didn't happen.
Yes,
They lost wicket at very crucial junctures. Or the other way to look at it would be that Kings 11 Punjab Kings kept taking wickets at crucial junctures. So I think uh, Washington Sundar time and again has proved that he is a very valuable asset with the bat, and SRH have not used him as well as they should have been in this tournament. Uh, Nicholas Puran, on the other hand, has been like he's a very hyped T20 cricketer, but somehow in this
yes,
tournament
true.
he has not lived up to the hype created around him as a T20 player. On the other hand, if you look at, I think Liam player of the tournament for me, like the
Very
way
true.
he has contributed. No one expected him to do this much. Like, and what a utility cricketer! He can hit long sixes. Today he had a rub of the luck as well. He was like a cat with 9 lives. Catches were dropped, but he still kept hitting. He can bowl off
Yes,
spin. He can bowl leg spin. What an outstanding cricketer to have in a format like this. So I think overall that partnership, coming back to that partnership actually make you feel that the kind of bowling SRH have, they have something to defend now. But then it was ruined by their fielding effort. I think their fielding was very bad today. So it was ruined by their fielding effort and
absolutely.
some fabulous hitting
Yes,
by Liam Livingston.
very true. And highlighting now, coming to SRH's bowling and fielding, let's just add the word woes to the fielding of SRH today. Avijit sir, I would request you to highlight on SRH's bowling. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, the stand-in captain in place of Kane Williamson, unfortunately going quite expensive with his bowling. He has figures of delivering 22 runs off just 2 overs at an economy of 11 runs per over. However, it was Washington Sundar, Faruqi, Suchit, and Umran Malik standing out for SRH's bowling attack. Uh, among them, Faruqi literally bagging those crucial wickets of Johnny Bairstow, breaking the first partnership, and then once again dismissing the dangerous Shikhar Dhawan. How would you describe SRH's bowling today?
Yeah, I think it was apart from Faruqi, it was slightly below average today. When I was expecting a little more from Bhuvneshwar Kumar being as a stand-in captain. But I think what really matters today is the catches that were dropped. I think that catch was Umran Malik drop. I think it was a sitter. I mean, you take these catches in the practice. 100 out of 100 times you should take that. I think if you lose, if
Absolutely.
you drop such catches, I think it not only demotivates yourself, but it also demotivates your the bowler and
True.
another team members, because you can't drop such catches at this level. You're expected to.
Yes.
I could have understand if the ball could have gone extremely higher, or maybe it was a difficult to catch. Then you can understand. But I think when it's a sitter, I think that's completely breaks the momentum. And we could
True.
see the energy, the intent was not there from the SRH bowlers in the last. And I think credits to the Living Livingstone, Shikhar Dhawan, and Johnny Bester, Shah Rukh Khan also played a little cameo. I think I think that also set the tones. Maybe the players are too much in the buy bubble. The last match they wanted to sum up the match early and go and have rest and
Yes.
go out with the
Yes.
family and enjoy. I think that was I guess the plan of the Punjab Kings then. Just leave out of this buy bubble and then enjoy time with your family. But I think yeah, good knock by especially by Livingstone.
Biobubble fatigue for the players, it gets very tough for them as well to maintain such strict protocols. Nishant sir highlighting a bit more on SRH's fielding woes, as the great Sunil Gavaskar sir always highlights that catches win you matches. Unfortunately, SRH never lived up to that. Umran Malik literally dropping those sitters, and as you termed Liam Livingstone, a person like a cat with 9 lives, perhaps that enabling him to play in one of the innings of his lives. Would you say that keeping aside SRH's fielding, were Punjab too good for SRH with their batting, or is it SRH who let Punjab get away with the match, dropping those catches and delivering those loose deliveries and giving away too many runs? How would you describe this situation?
I think, as I mentioned, they were very flat, and it reflected in their batting, it reflected in their bowling, it reflected in their fielding. Uh, Somehow, in batting and bowling, you can still hide it, but fielding, it becomes very apparent. Like when you start dropping catches, and it's just not, catches are dropped in every game. That's not a problem. Problem is when you
True.
see that lack of intent on the boundary, when you see, uh, you know, when you see a single being converted into a double, when you see a possible boundary that should have been stopped goes for a four,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
affects everyone. That affects the bowler. That also, in a positive way, affects the morale of the batting side. So
True.
it has an overall effect. Uh, if you remember, there's a catch of him. There was a ball which went up in the air. Faruqi was under that ball, and it,
Yes.
like, he tried to gaze it at it, landed somewhere, and then it went for a four.
Yes.
So
Yes.
those kind of things become very embarrassing, and that just,
True.
the body language was very bad today. Like, somehow, uh, in a game like this, I understand that it's very difficult to maintain the same intensity and the body language, but uh, as a professional cricketer, you will be playing games like this, which will be dead rubber. You will be
Yes.
playing games like, where it won't matter whether you win or lose, but we all are humans, and we have
Yes.
our inner emotions. But as a professional, you have to channelize your inner emotions and come out and play your best cricket. So I think,
True.
today, Sunrisers Hyderabad was beaten in all three departments by Punjab Kings: batting, bowling, fielding, everything.
Very true. And extending on what Nishant sir just said, Abhijit sir, as Nishant sir very correctly highlighted, that the body language of the SRH fielders was very, very woeful and pitiful. I would ask you, SRH through this kind of fielding, would you say that they were, giving out a very wrong and negative message, a very negative vibe to the audience that it's a dead rubber, this match does not technically have any meaning in the league stage, so it doesn't really matter for us to give our best, apparently, as compared to the Punjab players who seemed completely in full character. It never looked that as if this match never mattered to them. They played it with the full intent, as if this match would influence their chances to the playoffs. So would you say that SRH's body language, rather a cricketer's body language in their mindset and how they come to play any match,
No, I think
affect and give a
no,
message to the
I
audience?
don't, no, I don't think so in that way. I think nobody comes there to, just to, even if it's the result doesn't matter that much to, the point, the playoff race. So I think no one comes to the game with that intent. I can understand, they didn't had good fielding, but I think it doesn't mean like, they wanted to come and just play there. I think they just had a one bad game. I mean, bad day at the office, I would say.
Yes.
Most of them, playing at the IPL, it's still, it's a big level, and no one wants to be in that zone. It happens sometimes, even of the best. It has happened to Virat Kohli. It has to Sachin Tendulkar. It has happened to Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I think it's just
Yes.
some couple of catches that's been dropped. And on the other side, Punjab Kings, you know, they played well. I think we have to accept that as well. But overall, if you talk about the season, then I'm actually impressed by the SRH the way they have been played, because after the auction they were told they're the most weakest side of the IPL. But I think
Yes.
the way they lost the first three matches, they came and won the five matches. They were at one stage in the top four. In between they lost the matches, but I think they should be proud of themselves. Like, given this,
True.
the squad they have, you don't have big stars in SRH. I think Kane Williamson is the only one which is really a big star. Bhuvneshwar Kumar is of course there, but I think he is not as lethal as Jasprit Bumrah, I would say. But the way SRH has played throughout the tournament, a lot of credit to them, a lot of credit to the support staff. And I think in the next season, if they make a couple of changes, I think they'll be a team which can actually go on to win. If you ask me, if at the start of the season, if Punjab with this squad can they reach to playoff, I would certainly say no, it's not possible then. Even if Punjab they return the same team for the next year, no chance of them reaching the playoffs as well, because they're not the team. I think you need some um some players who can actually be a winners for you throughout the tournament. For Punjab, no one has been there for the consistent apart from Living Limstone, who has been exceptional. You bring a best of at the later of the where he missed some of the matches, but I think there wasn't that as a team effort. Yes, Punjab had a better side compared to SRH, but there wasn't a
Yes.
complete team effort during the entire tournament. I think that's why Punjab didn't qualify to the playoff. They had those moments, and it's not just these seasons they've been doing that. From the last 3-4 seasons, it's consistently same. They come
Yes.
near to
True.
the playoff, and then they just somehow, when they lose. I still remember when KL Rahul was the captain of um, Punjab Kings. Chris Gayle was also with them. I think it was in 2018 or 19. They lost
Mm.
7 matches in a drought. I think
Yes.
it just shows how has been the Punjab Kings, completely, not reaching the playoff. Only twice they have reached the playoff. The first, and
Yes.
that too, the first was in the Navy, and the last time was in 2014 when Sanjay Bangar was
Yes.
their coach, and then he
Yes.
took them. I mean, under his coaching, Punjab reached the finals.
Yes. They did.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, indeed. Yes. In the middle, you had probably were facing some network issues,
Yeah.
but you're
So
back again.
yeah, so I was
Yes.
just saying Punjab has reached only twice the playoffs.
Yes.
First in the inaugural season and 2014 they reached the playoffs. So I think a lot work has to be done from the management side as well to decide, if I mean, great respect to Anil Kumble as a cricketer. He's a legend.
Yes.
He's a great cricketer. But I think as a coach, he
Absolutely.
hasn't done Punjab hasn't reached the playoff in last 3 years under his, he's been coach. I think you expect that to do, and I think Punjab has management has to do a lot of changes, not only in the, you know, from the, the player side, but I think in the coaching side as well. If they want next season at least their team to reach the playoffs, for to win the IPL title, it's altogether a different ball game. Then you have to do a lot of changes, But I think that was the time. It's the time during the auction when you get best of the best, like what Gujarat Titans did, like what LSG did. I think they have to make changes if they have to, qualify. I mean, they have to reach the playoffs next season.
Very true. And now we will shift our focus to Punjab Kings. Nishant sir, your favorite topic will come, the bowling department of Punjab Kings. How good was Punjab's bowling today to restrict Sunrisers Hyderabad after they opted to bat first against them? Let's take a look at the bowling figures. Liam Livingstone and Arshdeep Singh finishing with identical figures of 4 overs, 25 runs at an economy of 6.25. There's Kagiso Rabada, brilliant, 4 overs, 38 runs, 1 wicket. Nathan Ellis and Harshdeep Brar being the standout performers for Punjab's bowling, both finishing with 3 wickets. Nathan Ellis 40 runs and Harshdeep Brar with 26 runs. How good would you say Punjab's bowling approach was in restricting Sunrisers Hyderabad?
I think their bowling has been quite impressive, and it's good to see, when the native boys, like, Punjab side, and Harshdeep and Brar does well for them. So they are like local catchment players. So there's a sort of connect to that team, the natural connect to that team. So,
Yes.
and Barar, I really like. I have his action, his the way he approaches the crease is beautiful. He's a traditional left arm spinner. Uh, Bowls in right areas, create problems for the batters, especially on the wickets which have a bit of grip, which he used very effectively today.
Yes.
And his spell was absolutely fantastic. 3 for 26 in 4 overs. Ashdeep celebrating his call in the Indian side, not giving away many runs, 25 runs in four
Very
overs,
true.
same as Liam Livingston. So I think as a bowling unit, they did very well. And
True.
I think someone like Barar would have learned a lot under Anil Kumble. His experience as a
Mhm.
spinner would have helped him a lot. And you can see the kind of improvement he has made from domestic cricket to at this level. He's a very, very uncomplicated kind of a cricketer. Like, very, very, you have some cricketers whose basics are very strong, and he comes across as
Yes,
one of them.
absolutely.
So I think it was a very, very impressive bowling performance, which set up the match for them. Getting uh, uh, SRH to 157, uh, and making sure that they get wickets at regular intervals to keep the pressure always on SRH batting is a tribute the way they worked as a team today, like as a bowling unit. Like, one end was creating pressure, the other end was taking wickets, and that's how bowling
Yes.
units work, and it turned out very well for them today.
Absolutely. It was at Punjab Kings' bowlers who were mind blowing with their approach first in restricting Sunrisers Hyderabad and ensuring that the Punjab batters do not have to work much harder in reaching the total. Abhijit sir, if you could highlight for us that last over delivered by Nathan Ellis against Sunrisers Hyderabad, the amount of brilliance that he was just oozing out, bagging those 3 important wickets, giving away 10 runs, of course, but that last over probably completely sealed and ensured that Punjab Kings had the match with them. If you could just enlighten us on that last over.
Yeah, I think it was a great over, uh, 3 wickets and 10 runs. I think that showed uh, um, what he's capable of. I mean, we don't see that often. Someone like Nathan Ellis. But I think it's also the mistakes by the SRS batsman, I would say. Um, because you wanted to, it's a last over and you wanted to hit run, because you have to achieve a target. I think for them, I think probably
Yes.
165, maybe it was as border sport what they would have thought. But I think, yeah, credit to the, Nathan as well, like bowling in the right
Yes.
slots. And I think it's also, it happens where, a batsman would miss, they would try to get some shots in the air. And I think that's what happened today.
Very true. And highlighting on Punjab Kings' batting, well, yes, they lost 5 wickets, but Punjab Kings will have probably just one particular person to be talked about, and that is the man of the moment, Liam Livingstone. What an innings by him! One shy of his much deserved half century, but the kind of performance that he came up, all guns blazing, once Bairstow got dismissed and all those wickets were falling. He ensured that Punjab Kings came in full character and he played the knock of his life. Nishant sir, how good was Liam Livingstone? Not only particularly with his batting, but with his bowling as well and with his fielding. That brilliant catch that he took. How
I have
good
already
was
said
Liam?
that for me, he is the overseas player of the tournament this season. Uh, and he was lucky to get some lives, and he made the most of it. I think he will. You have been mentioning that this is the innings of his life. I think he will play many such innings,
Of course he will.
and this will be, and those will be in the matches, because if you look at him as a cricketer, he's a complete cricketer, and it looks like that he's
True, very
designed to
true.
play this format. A very, very useful cricketer. Any team would like to have him. Punjab is lucky to have a player like him, because not just bowling, fielding, batting, he can deliver in all departments. So he's a true all-rounder in a format like this. So I think one of the bigger reasons why Punjab was able to chase this total was largely because of his innings. Uh, Obviously, he was lucky, as we have been mentioning it time and again, but at the same
Yes.
time, he made the most of the opportunities given to him.
True, very true. And to make the most out of an opportunity is what makes him cricketer. And Liam Livingstone has time and again proven it. Not at all forgetting that this match he was once again brilliant, as always he is. So this was the post-match analysis of match 70, Sunrisers Hyderabad versus the Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings ending on a consolation high. Let's hope both these teams come back stronger next season. Now, before we break and start our discussions on the upcoming playoffs, the much awaited playoffs, let's talk a bit about the upcoming Women's T20 Challenge that is beginning from tomorrow. Our very talented women players from all over the world will be taking the fields at Pune. The big match beginning from tomorrow, the first match, Trailblazers versus Supernovas. An open house question will begin first with Abhijit sir, followed by Nishant sir. What kind of performances are you expecting from these lovely ladies from around the world?
Yeah, I think it is great, to have a T20 challenge, especially in Pune. I think last year as well, it was a good to see the women's T20 challenge. And I think Smriti Mandhana's team, I think that's where I would like to put my money on. The only thing which, a bit, not so, uh, the schedule that's been decided by BCCI. Well, the women's plays the first match tomorrow, and then the next match is on Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. I think it's
Yes,
the same Trailblazers. Uh, I think they're going to play the match. Yes, I think, sorry, it's a Supernovas that's going to play the match tomorrow and day after. I think maybe the schedule could have been better, because it's
yes,
like in less than 24 hours you're playing 220 match. I know
yes,
it
very
is
hectic.
it is possible. I mean, it's an athlete. You're expected to perform that, but I think maybe, with the men's team they would not have done that. So I think they would have planned better, the schedule. But anyways, I think uh, three teams, some of the best, women T20 players from the world going to participate. Next year we're going to have the women's. IPL. So I think it is going to be
Yes.
just the a small trailer how it's going to be for the next year. So looking forward for Women's T20 Challenge as well.
Very true. Nishant sir.
I think it's a great opportunity. I was there when the Women's World Cup happened in New Zealand recently, and saw some of these cricketers. Alana King is coming. She's a great leg spinner. It'll be a treat to watch. South African captain Sunil Lewis is here. She's another exceptional batter. And also, I think it's a great opportunity for the women cricketers from India to rub shoulders with some
Yes.
of the great
True.
players which we have in India and also from abroad. And they will get, to share the dressing room with them, learn from them, and it's a great exposure for them. Uh, and I'm sure once we reach that stage where women have their own IPL or a tournament like
Yes.
that, it will be a great, you know, boon to the entire women cricket ecosystem, which should happen sooner than later, and it will happen. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm sure a lot of these women cricketers who could not reach the semifinals of the World Cup where they were expected to would like to
Yes.
show their talent again, whether it is Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti Mandana, Jemima Rodriguez, who's out of the team from the women's
Yes.
team. She would like to use this opportunity to get back into the side. So there are plenty of opportunities for some of these players to make a comeback or impress everyone. So I am really looking forward to this tournament.
I think one name that
Extremely
stands
delighted.
out,
Yes, sir.
one name that stand out from the entire three teams. I think I'm really looking forward for Nethekan Chantem from Thailand. I think it's really wonderful to see players from Thailand, and it
Yeah,
like we saw what Team David did in the
Yes.
IPL, and he represents Singapore. I think that's the beauty. That's what I would like to see. I mean, imagine earlier we also had player from Nepal who has been part of the IPL franchisee. Now we have Team David. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I think, and as I said, this is just a trailer for what next year women's IPL will be. Not sure how many teams will be there, but it is going to be popular, extremely popular. And I think it's a great opportunity, and I think just like what every one of us saw the IPL what happened, we should also continue and see what's
Yes.
the there for the women's T20.
Yes. Delightful thoughts from our distinguished guests, and a request to the audience to tune into their devices from tomorrow at 7:30 sharp and enjoy some very, very good cricket being delivered by these extremely talented female cricketers from all around the world. Now, coming back to this IPL, now we head on straight to the much awaited playoffs. The first playoff to be played between Gujarat Titans versus Rajasthan Royals, qualifier 1 on Tuesday. Quick predictions, Nishant sir, who's winning it?
I will go for Gujarat Titans because I
Gujarat.
think they have been the team of the tournament, uh, and they deserve to be in the finals, and they have more informed players than Rajasthan Royals, and they come across as a more settled unit than Rajasthan Royals. Although Rajasthan Royals, I won't be surprised if they, because on a day any team can beat. It's a matter of who plays those 40 overs better. But
Yes.
going by the current form, going by the team compositions, I would back Gujarat Titans.
Yes. And Abhijit sir?
I'll go with Rajasthan Royals. I think because
Okay.
last time they played, they defeated CSK, and I think everything is now cricket for them. On the other side, Gujarat Titans lost to RCB in the last match. But I think even Gujarat Titans is the best side right now in the IPL. But I think what really advantage for Rajasthan is everything is clicking for them. Even R Ashwin,
Yes.
he is currently one of the best all rounder of the IPL, and I think if he goes on, I think he also can turn the match on his own. But having said
True.
that, both the teams going to have two chances. So I think both the teams will going to Ahmedabad for sure. So I think for me it will be Rajasthan Royals. I think one of the reasons why I'm keeping Rajasthan favourite this time is because of the way they are playing it for the Shane one. I think that's one of the key factor. I think what I see from the Rajasthan Royals. So yeah, I'll go with Rajasthan Royals on Tuesday rather.
Indeed. So the beam is very neatly balanced. One says Gujarat, the other says Rajasthan. Let's hope for a cracker of a game. The first playoffs. The audience can just tune in to watch the qualifier one, Gujarat Titans versus the Rajasthan Royals. For now, this was the analysis of match 70, and this concludes the league stage. We meet again for qualifier one. Until then, good night. Thank you for joining and take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.